So happy Saturday, good afternoon if you're joining from the UK or Europe, and of course if you're in the States, good morning to you. Do drop in your comments, thoughts and anything, because I want to know where you are today, because it's literally going to be you and me. Yes, so this session was planned. I was having two amazing guests, but unfortunately there's personal things going on, so neither of them are able to jump in. So it's just you and me. Okay, so do let me know where you are, what you're doing today, if there's anything exciting going on. And of course, what we want to do today is set you up to have a great start to 2024. Okay, so the reason we're doing this today, and of course we're not waiting until the new year, is because if we try and do things from the minute go, we end up chasing our own tail. Okay, so we end up chasing ourselves. So we want to plan ahead so we're ready, so we know what we're going to do. And with that, that also means closing off certain things to let things stay behind and not stay with us, right? So let me just check it's all streaming through, as I always do, but it doesn't always run as smoothly as possible. Yes, we're all good. So we're all there. So up. Oh, it's saying event will start soon. So let me just do something. This is the power of tech. It's so smooth, works absolutely beautifully. And then sometimes you have these technical issues. So if you can hear me and you are joining, do let me know, because at the moment it is showing that I'm here, but then I'm not. It's not coming up. It's not loading for me. So if you are able to hear me and listen to, do say, because I am here on LinkedIn. It is not working. It is not working. Oh, I love technology. Okay, yes, it is working. Okay, so sorry about that. So if you are joining and went through that, I do apologize. Technical things. I want to make sure that you are still with me and you are staying with me throughout. So, like I said, we are closing off the year. Now, what does this look like? So this can be many different things. Some people like to think of this as a cleansing and clearing motion. So sometimes that means finishing off a task and making sure we get things done. Sometimes that is clearing our space. Okay, so we're going to talk about this physically as well as energetically. So if you're kind of not somebody who's really got into this, there are things that we hold on to and can actually stay with us, although we want to leave them behind. Okay, so we're going to first look at closing off this year. Okay, because we want to close to open, ready for the new. Okay, so you can do this, really, you can do this sort of on a monthly basis if you want, or more often. But of course, the new year, on the end of the year, is best. It's an amazing place to do it, right? So like I said, let's talk about this in terms of our sort of work. Okay, so first off, we want to make sure we have that task list. We want to make sure we get jobs done, and that way we're not carrying things forward. Okay, so certain things you may have to carry forward, but again, maybe that little extra push may work out worthwhile. But again, don't be hard on yourself either. Now, when we talk about the physical sort of things that we want to do, so we all set new goals. So if you haven't set your goals for next year, before we do anything else, that's where we want to be, okay? Because if we haven't got an idea of where we want to be moving forwards with, then of course it's kind of really difficult to know what to let go of, okay? Now, when we talk about cleansing and clearing, okay, there are things that we can always do, and there are things that we can do which are specific. Okay, so when we talk about our specific things that we want to do, we talk about setting our goals. Say if you want to lose weight, then of course, maybe one thing to make sure you do is clear through the cupboards so you haven't got things that are adding temptation. Or maybe there's some old clothes that you no longer fit. Okay, but clothes will lead me nicely into the cleansing and clearing space, because often we hoard things. So have you got something in your wardrobe that you are holding on to for that rainy day? Maybe it's something you like, but you've not worn for 3 years. Or maybe you just don't wear it anymore. It doesn't fit you, okay? This is a beautiful time to clear out that space, okay? Because how can you let something in if you don't let something go? Okay, imagine the idea of like a stuffed wardrobe. Okay, so we get all our clothes, we fill it, and then you try to put more and more in. It doesn't work. Okay, and if you sit there and think, okay, I can't afford to do anything, there's a balance, okay? So you know your own personal situation in terms of finances and things like this, but there's no point, say, holding on something that's doesn't fit you, tattered, worn, or something like that, if you can afford to let go of it, okay? Because we want to bring more in, we want to be able to let go, okay? So the cleansing and clearing of physical items that you have, okay? Christmas and the end of the year is a great way to close off and get rid of that stuff. Now, when I say get rid, you don't have to just bin it. You can recycle, you can donate to charity, you can sell on eBay, Vinted, or whatever it is your local app. If you've got any recommendations for great local apps, then of course do share them, because there are others who are obviously wanting to probably do the same. Okay, so I'm really big on this. So I've done loads on Vinted, on Gumtree, and what's the other one? eBay. eBay's the other one. So again, it's just a case, if I see something, even if I stick it on for £1, sometimes it's not about making money. It's okay. Sometimes it's about making sure the items that you have don't go to waste. Okay, so sometimes there's that element. So I'm massive in that. I throw things out, make a big pile, and then choose what I'm doing with it. Is it a charity? Is it going in one of the like clothing bins? Is it going to a charity shop, or is it something I'm going to put up and see if somebody wants to buy? Okay, so you can have a different level of different things. Okay, but what that does is it's not just clearing space in your place, in your house, in your bedroom, in your wherever. It actually clears your energy a little bit. Okay, because we hold on to things. Maybe it's a necklace of a relationship from a past relationship, okay, boyfriend gave you, or it's something that reminds you of a certain thing, okay? We hold on to these things, and sometimes that doesn't actually help us, okay? And actually we need to let go. So of course, if we want to close the year, then of course you need to be willing to let go. Now, don't do anything that you don't feel a level of maybe slight discomfort with. Okay, if something's going to cause sort of a pain and be a real problem to get rid of it, then don't. Okay, I'm not telling you just clear out your wardrobes and stuff, so please don't say, oh, she told me so. Okay, think about what feels good for you. Okay, I mean, I go through my wardrobe and I go through all my stuff every so often, and I may get rid of one or two things. And of course, like for example, I moved just over a year ago, and of course, a lot of my shoes and stuff that came, I was like, oh, I really love these. I want to keep them. I've just thrown out 5 pairs of shoes or 4 pairs of shoes, which I've been holding on to. And part of me still loves these shoes. And I really do. And I don't want to get rid of them. And I've had them for a few years and I've worn them a lot. But I've not worn them. And I looked at them and went, if I went out, what shoes would I wear? That I don't need these extras. Okay, so I'm just getting rid of them. Okay, and actually surprisingly, although a year ago if you told me to get rid of these shoes, I would have probably cried. Okay, but right now that feels a good thing. It feels like the right time. So go through things in stages. Maybe there's something that you want to keep for now, but then maybe in a couple of months you can do it later. All right, so you can sort of do that, move on. Okay, so when we talk about closing, like I said, there's a work element. So we want to make sure we close down our projects. We want to make sure we have a clear to-do list. And don't be afraid of maybe making a New Year to-do list. So you can sort of switch off when you come to your Christmas break. Then we talk about cleansing and clearing our space. So the physical things we hold on to. And again, Christmas, there's a lot of sweets, a lot of sugary foods, maybe some treats and stuff that you like. I mean, there are so much things out there that actually it's kind of cool in many ways, but also can be not so cool in others. And if you find that there's loads coming in to your cupboards that maybe you don't want, then of course it doesn't mean, again, you have to throw things. Maybe you just plan how you're going to eat them or how much drink you're going to have, or maybe again there's a giving to somebody else. Okay, because there are loads of people out there right now who obviously are, say, less fortunate. The cost of living still going on, interest. There are people who are still struggling, so maybe there's someone that you or even a local charity you can give to. Okay, so when we talk about clearing, sometimes it's good for us, but then it also gives that nature of giving to give to somebody else. Okay, so it feels really good when we get to give and offer kindness. And of course, often we automatically think of family, friends, maybe someone we always pick up the phone to and talk to. But there are so many people that we pass, maybe in the street, a neighbor, your postman, these people that actually impact our lives. And often we just walk past without a sort of a smile. So maybe there's somebody there. Have a think. All right. So if you are with me, I can see there is a few people. It is a bit jumpy on my end, so hopefully it's all good for you. If you are still there, obviously let me know where you're at and things like this. I can see the comments on the screen, but of course, obviously, I'd love to know. So, of course, we're talking about clearing, but then let's go more into energetic space. Okay, so I know some people be like, this isn't for me. Okay, because I remember starting when I thought meditation was some hippie shit. That wasn't for me. I kind of branded it the oming, the chanting, and all this, and I found a way that works for me. But a lot of times we can carry things that aren't with us, okay, that aren't ours. So it's not just a memory that's attached maybe to a photo or to some items of clothing. It can be things that maybe a conversation that we've had, okay? Maybe somebody's made a comment to you. Maybe you've turned up to work and nobody's turned up for your meeting or something, okay? Or maybe it's gone wrong. For whatever reason, it hasn't worked out well, and you're just carrying that around, okay? That's the sort of things I'm talking about, okay? So I'm not saying, okay, you might not really feel this, but we go through these experiences, and if you do, that energy can stay with you. Now, for us to move forwards, again, we need to let this go, okay? We need to be able to say, okay, that's done, okay? Because remember, it's yesterday, it's this morning, it's last week. It's not this moment, okay? And when we're looking at moving forwards for 2024 into January, new month, new financial year for many and things like this, then we don't want to be holding on to something that's not worked for us, okay? Now, there are several ways you can do this, okay? So we can go into the meditation. There are different ways to meditate. You do not have to sit there and chant, okay? You can follow a guided meditation. You can just sit quietly and listen to music, or you could do like a meditative walk or something, okay? Even sit in a park. If you're around nature, nature is so healing, so soothing that actually you can sit and sort of soothe the mind and body, okay? The other way that you could do it is journaling. So writing it all down, okay? So when we journal, we often think, oh, I've got to write my feelings down, or I've got to write this. You could write it as a log of what's happened, okay? Now, if you sort of write it down, there is another thing that what you can do with it as well, if this feels right for you, because you don't have to keep it, okay? So you write it, which kind of gets it out, but then you can either tear it up and throw it away. Or if you're someone with a fire, or you're going to have an outdoor fire or something, then of course you can burn it, okay? So that actually has a lot of power to it as well, for getting rid of the things that don't serve you, okay? It's one of my favorite lines, the things that don't serve you, the things that aren't fitting to where you want to be, okay? So it doesn't mean to say it's wrong, it's bad, it's branded as something. It just means that right now you're looking at moving forwards. This doesn't work to keep on holding on to that, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so meditation, like I said, in many ways. Take the journaling, take that sort of side of things, or we can actually share it. So basically it's our way of getting it out of our system, okay? You don't have to go quiet like the meditation. You can actually talk about it. Now, when we talk about it, we don't actually need somebody else. It can be like now, you can be talking to me, like we're having this conversation right now. This is amazing. But you can do like the Shirley Valentine. No one's watched Shirley Valentine. I recommend you. I love that movie. I love it. Okay, because she just talks to the wall. Okay, she's like, hey, wall, I'm doing this. Okay, and that's lovely, because actually what she's doing is sort of having her chance to say what she thinks. Okay. Now, often when we hold on to this baggage and we sit and hold on things, we automatically think we need to talk to someone. Now, sometimes we do. Okay, I shared a post today as well about mental health, mental well-being, and sometimes we do need someone to talk to. So that means you may need a friend or family member, or you may need somebody else, so a professional. Okay, if you're feeling you or in that state, do not be afraid to reach out for help. There's my mental health push, okay? Because this time of year can come with a lot of pressure, right? Pressures to have the perfect dinner, to give all these gifts, to have your house decorated a certain way, okay? There's a lot of pressure, okay? If you've ever watched Bad Mums, okay, I watched Bad Mums Christmas the other day. Has anyone seen that? But with Bad Mums Christmas, they actually have the pressure of providing the perfect Christmas for the kids, right? And of course, these things are around us. You know, maybe we're watching TV, we're like, oh my God, they're having a perfect Christmas. I need to do this. Okay. But on top of that, if you look out the window, if you're here, I mean, I'm looking, it's kind of grey and cloudy today. So if you are based in the UK or sort of the Northern Hemisphere, then of course it can be, a dark grayer, and of course the winter blues sets in. Okay, so of course that's why lights and Christmas lights adds a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of light to our lives. Okay, but of course this is why we can actually be feeling up against it more. Maybe we're feeling more tired, pushed again, the end of the work, all these pressures coming onto us. And of course, we need to make sure we look after ourselves, okay? Because when we talk about stress, we talk about the things that cause us stress and the things that give us stress relief, okay? So there's two sort of sides. But what we tend to do is feel stressed, we do what we need to fix it, and then we feel stressed, and then we just keep in this cycle, okay? What we need to do is be able to get to a point where the things that we do that don't cause us stress or save our stress is higher than the things that actually cause the stress. Okay, if that makes sense. All right. Because if the things that cause the stress, that's when we hit overwhelm, burnout, and things like this. And that's when we need to address. So hence this idea of closing and clearing. Okay. So looking at our work diary. So looking at it from a really analytical, logical point of view. What's on my diary? What can I get done? What needs to be done? And what am I writing up ready for me to hit first week back? What's going to be there ready? Okay. So we can do that. We can also then take that into the things we need to do for home. So I need to get the shopping list. I need to do the Christmas present. Let's use the same skills. Okay. If that makes it more comfortable, then do use those skills. Then we look at clearing our space. Okay. Clearing, you're going to get some gifts. You're going to get people wishing you stuff. But it's also the fact is, if we keep holding on to stuff, then of course we keep holding on to maybe where we used to be. And of course, if we want success, we want to change what we're doing, then you have to be willing to let something go. Okay. So do what feels comfortable, what you can deal with. Okay. But if you're not wearing those clothes, if things are ripped, or maybe you've got toys or videos that you've not watched for years, then of course now's a beautiful time to get rid of them. Then we look at our energy and our energetic space. So letting go of everything that maybe we've held on to, a bad story, bad experience, bad workshop. Okay. Now, I mentioned this at the beginning about setting our goals. Okay. Because ultimately we want goals. We want things to drive us and excite us and be really fun and stuff like this. So if you set your goals and you want to share some, obviously do put them in the comments. Okay. Let's know what you're working for. And obviously we can support each other, because a year goes by so quick. It feels like I only just started this year. But if you feel the same, obviously say hi. But we have goals. Now, often we set them in the SMART format. So specific, measurable, time. And of course, in many ways, that's what we need. We need to be very specific. We need to have a measure to know what it feels like when we achieve this. Okay, so we can get that sense of a success. And then we put this time period on. Okay. But the thing with that can be, if we don't quite hit it for whatever reason, then of course we can feel this as a failure, okay? But we're not going to feel that, are we? No, we're in for the win. We're in for a win on 2024. So we're going to set goals that excite us, motivate us, and of course make us want to get up in the morning, even when it's cold, dark, and grey, and the Christmas lights come down, and we're starting to feel the pressure of the new year, okay? So let's set our goals. Okay, so if you've got them written down, ask yourself, how will I know when I achieve this? Right? And then we look at, and if you've got that clear, beautiful. Then we're going to look at how you're going to achieve it. Okay, so is it weight loss? Is it to eat better? Okay, is it to get a new job, to upgrade your career? Is it to increase your earnings? Okay, or maybe you're like a self-employed solopreneur and you think, I want to grow my business. Okay, then we start looking at the steps you're going to take. Okay, and this is where we need to do this now. Okay, if you're not going to do this now, you're going to hit the 1st of January and think, what do I need to do? You're going to be behind the game. Okay, right? Just like if we start closing off and clearing our space. So a lot of people wait till like the 1st or 2nd of January when they take down the Christmas decorations to start clearing things through. Do it now, okay? That is my biggest stress to you, because if we wait again till January, we're closing, clearing. Next thing you know, it's a week into January. We've lost 7 days. Then we start thinking about what comes ahead. Oh, we've lost more time. Then it's, you see, so it becomes this chasing. We don't want to chase. We want to own our year, right? Are you with me? Because we're going to own 2024. And with that, we cleanse, we clear, we set up, we do it now. Okay. We set our intentions, our goals. Now, I don't set mine with a specific time frame. Now, some people go, well, why not? And it's like, well, actually, because if this is maybe a 2 to 3 year plan, okay, so I'll give it a rough window, but I don't go, if I achieve it in a year, I'm not going to argue. If I achieve it in 4 years, I don't care. It's about having something that makes me want to go for it, right? So I have a list of things that I want to achieve, okay? And then I also have a list of things that I need to do to achieve those things, okay? So some of my things obviously are career focused, some of them are personal, some of them are, aspirations. But then when we look at our own growth, these are the things that we're going to do day in, day out. So our healthy habits. So I talk always about the things you do consistently. You can do a boot camp if you want throughout January, amazing. But my question is for you, what are you going to do afterwards? Okay, it's the things that you do consistently which actually give you the sustainable results. And we're not talking about what we're going to get for just now. I want you to get results that you're going to have now and that you can keep. Okay, that's the thing, the keep. So when you hit your 60s, 70s, 80s, okay, you can be like my nan and running around a Zimmer frame, in a care home. Okay, that's my goal for you, is to live that full and healthy life. And that's the fulfillment, the excitement, and things like this. And that starts with the small things you do daily. Now, the other win, there's another win for this. Yes, yes, yes. Because when we have small daily actions, they are so much easier to do than something that's bigger. Now, sometimes we find it easier to do a big thing like a boot camp or a strict diet for like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Okay. But the thing with that is we find we're pushing, but then we've probably got a coach, we've got people holding us accountable, we've got friends doing it. We're part of, say, a program, and we're sort of in this. Okay. Now, that doesn't always fall, because then afterwards you kind of, things drift off, you haven't got those fixed appointments, you haven't got the time. Then of course you kind of go, okay, now what, right? So that's why we look at things we do differently, because when we're doing the small actions and we're creating change, we will naturally resist it less. Okay, because when we're trying to change something and build a new habit and all these sorts of things, we are naturally in a set cycle. And to break that cycle, we've got to do something differently. Now, I'm sure you've tried to do something before, like go, maybe New Year's resolution. This is a really common one. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get fit. We commit and we get to the gym 4 times in the first week. We're like, yeah, this is amazing. Okay. Then it comes to the second week and we manage 4 times. Okay. So we get the 4 and I go, oh, I've got this. Then we hit the next week and a meeting comes up. So it's okay, I missed a day. I'll go tomorrow. Then, of course, tomorrow comes. Oh, and we missed that. Next thing you know, we get the next day in because we're like, oh, I have to make it because I don't want to fall off the track. Then we get to the weekend. Maybe we've got 2. Okay. Then it comes to the week after. It's like, okay, my diary is too busy. Becomes 1. And then we fall off. Or we just go, I just give it up this week. I'll start again on Monday because this week's not so good. Right. Now, this is what happens, okay? This is why, like, up to 75% fail within the first few weeks of the new year, because people have the expectation to do from the minute they start where they want to end up. And I cannot stress this enough. If we want to finish on, say, 4 workouts a week, beautiful. Let's aim for that in 3 to 6 months. Now, I say 3 to 6 months because I say slow and steady, okay? Let's set our minimum up of going once a week, because then if you get 2, it's amazing. It's a win. And then, of course, your likelihood is you'll feel that sense of success and achievement. The other way to do it is if you sit there and go, I want to do 45 to 60-minute sessions, go in to do 15 to 20-minute sessions. Because 15, 20 minutes is so much easier to put into your timetable than it is to fit a whole hour. Okay? So when we're looking at what we want to achieve, so whatever your goals are, write them down. Get clear on what they are and what it will look like for you to achieve that. And then look at how you're going to do it. So if it is lose weight, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this. Then the next step is make it as bite-sized and simple as possible. What is the smallest thing that you could possibly do this week that is different from what you are doing that will help you work as a step towards your goal? Okay, so like remember, it's that step. We want to step. Okay, because then what we can do is after say 3-4 weeks of say getting this, we go, okay, I'm going to do an extra gym session. Or you know what, I've actually really managed to sort all my breakfasts out for the first 2 weeks. I'm now going to focus on having a healthy lunch every single day. Okay, and this is why a lot of people do dry January. I never do dry January. January is cold and it's grey and it's long. Okay, I'm not even going to lie. I mean, I'm not a huge drinker anyway. So again, it's just, the odd glass here and there. I'm not that worried. But at the same time, I'm going, why do I want to do that? I've got no drive. I don't want to lose weight. I don't want to do this. It doesn't work for me. And of course, if I've ever done it, I've done dry February, which is kind of much better because it's a short month. And again, it gives you a chance to focus on other elements of your life. Because what happens is when we get to January, we go, I'm not eating sweets. I'm not eating chocolates. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going out. I'm not doing this. And we tell ourselves all the stuff we're not doing. First thing that happens when we hit February, we do the things that we've told ourselves we're not doing. Okay. And of course, all the good things we've probably been doing, we probably throw back in the cupboard. Right. So let's set our goals. Now, goals, we need 2 areas as well. I know I'm giving you so much today. Okay. So if you are taking notes, please do share what's your biggest takeaway from this. Okay. So if you are looking at this, you need to have your personal and professional goals. Okay. So there's things that you want to do for you. Like I've mentioned, weight loss, eating healthier. Maybe you want to run a 5K, you've got a marathon to do this year, something like that that's just for you. Okay. I give you the fitness ones because obviously my background is obviously 13 years in the industry, but there could be anything. Maybe it's a case if you want to paint a painting or write a book. Okay. These are the things for you. Okay. Now, the other side is your professional, because ultimately the two are very important to us. Okay. So we have 8 dimensions of our well-being, and our professional life gives us 3 directly, but impacts on virtually all of them. Okay. So with that, we need to have something for our career. So is that I want to increase my baseline revenue of my business. I want to expand my business to be something else. Maybe you online, or you want to start doing physical. Maybe there's a career growth that you want to be. Okay. Maybe you want to upskill so that you're ready for the next level of development. Whatever it is, you need sort of look at both. Okay. Because we're going to spend a lot of our working week in our business, but again, we need to spend obviously time on us as well. Okay. Just like our personal growth, our personal development that we do, that will actually help us wake up with that passion, that purpose. And actually we work harder when we've got that drive. Okay. So we want to be focused. So we're going to set our goals. We're going to set them now. We're going to cleanse and clear. We're going to be crystal clear on our goals so we know exactly what it looks like. We're going to have the personal and professional, so the 2 standards of what it is and what we want. Okay. And then of course we're going to have our action steps. So the actions, and then we're going to do the bite size. So the little thing that from the first, okay, if you take the bank holiday, the 2nd of January, you do, right? So I actually, with my clients, always work out on New Year's Day. Yep. I start the year exactly as I want to go on. Okay. I don't say I'm not going to drink alcohol. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that, because I don't make a false promise to myself. I make myself the promise to go, okay, what is my goal? I like to be healthy. Okay, so I'm not going to sit and neck a whole bottle of wine. It's not something I do anyway. But I'm not going to say I refuse to have a glass of wine, right? But then again, the same time, it's just about getting into the habits that I choose to have in my life, the ones that serve me. I mean, I actually don't stop over Christmas because wellness never takes a break. Okay, so you're going on holiday. Maybe you're taking a day off. Maybe you're taking 2 days off. Maybe you're like me and got like 10 days off, right? But your well-being never takes a break. It is every single day that you wake up, that you go to bed. It is your well-being that matters. Okay, that's kind of my emotional touch. Okay, because if you sit there and think, okay, my well-being is only during this time, it's only during this time I switch off. No. Your well-being is every single day, 24/7. Okay. That's why it's not about one meal. It's about the balance of meals. It's not just about one drink. It's about the balance of drinks. It's not just about one workout. It's the balance. Okay. Because we need to look at our lives and our healthy habits in terms of the things that we do. Are we regularly taking screen breaks? Are we getting up from the seat? Are we spending time with our family and our closest people? Are we still showing up at work feeling rested and prepared? Are we getting that good night's sleep? Are you drinking enough water? So what we tell ourselves and what we think is maybe, oh, I can give it a rest, but it doesn't. Okay, you might change what you do, but you don't rest. Now, I'll close on this, okay, guys, because I do not want to keep you all of your Saturdays. But let's talk about changing and adaptation. I got my English out. Okay, the reason I say this is because you may say, okay, I'm not going to the gym because the gym's shut. I'm not going to eat healthy because I've got family and friends coming over, we're having cake and we're doing this, okay, which is absolutely perfect. But you can still journal. You can still use affirmations and tell yourself positive things. You can still drink water. Okay. So even if you're having a party and you're having a few glasses of wine, beers, or whatever it is else you do, you can still have a glass of water. In the morning, you can still be hydrated by the time you get to that party. You can still, like I said, give yourself those positive thoughts. You can still go and connect with nature and maybe go for a nice walk, even if you are doing it with a group of friends before or after a party. Okay, I go with my sister, rephrase those words. I go with my sister for a walk on a Christmas Day afternoon. So we get out and we just walk. We don't go far. We just go down the road. But after we've had dinner, before it's that sort of sluggish afternoon sort of fat cat syndrome, we get up and we go for a nice little walk, and it's really, really enjoyable. Okay, so your well-being doesn't take a break. Okay, so we want to look at closing this year off. Hopefully you've had some great advice there. We want to plan now for the year ahead. Okay, so we want to look at what we're going to do, break down those actions, break down those bite-sized steps. And then, of course, we want to remember that we can change, we can adapt, but of course, there's no reason for us to stop, because a healthy, fulfilling life is one that you have 365 days a year. And of course, the extra when there's a leap year. So hopefully, guys, you have found that very much useful. And if there is any thoughts, comments, questions, or something else you'd like, because obviously I'm here to help you set up for the year ahead, do drop them in the comments, even if you are on Team Replay. And of course, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, I would like to wish you all great appreciation for joining me, but a lovely and healthy Saturday afternoon.